Satsangh Maharaj ki Jai. In our Hindu tradition, in Sanatana Dharma, we have fixed rules and regulations that we follow at this time when these kinds of events take place. But as good Sanatana Hindus, we should also recognize that those rules and regulations as prescribed in our scriptures, especially in the Garuda Purana, there are certain rites and rituals supposed to be performed. Those rites and rituals clearly stated more in the most part for the unrighteous. The mother of the soul was clearly a righteous person by nature. And because she lived a righteous life, all the trials and tribulations of going through these events do not apply to righteous people. Crossing the barricade in a river does not apply to righteous people. Having to cross all the gates and having to go through all the issues when righteous people pass on, if they have a process, which that entire process could be done in 40 hours. Why? Because the righteous person has the ability to transcend all the locals at an instant. Now, why am I telling you this? Because when we started this evening, I got the feeling that dearly departed soul is definitely moving extremely fast and furious towards the Buddha realm. And that being said, we all want this to be true. We all want the best for our departed. And as I begin, I invite you once again to pay the humble pronounce to Vishnu. Anadinirno Deva Shankachakra Gadadhara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prabhava Krishna Krishna Kripalu. Slokas remind us how we should do this. The Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts in chapter 17 with these verses. Devadvija Guru Pragya Gate. Indeed, Devadvija Guru Pragya. The Devas, the Brahmanas, the Gurus, and the wise persons. One thing is first is in a very profound way. That being said, the one goes on to let us know that in the age of Kali, many of us will recollect throughout our scriptures, many of the devotees praying for thousands of years to gain and seek the blessings of the God. But in the age of Kali, if we want to have austerity, tapas being performed, or these being recognized by Bhagavan, being righteous, as being pure and divine, you have to do these simple things. Worshipping the Vedas, the Brahmanas, and the Gurus. In the age of Kali, this is all that is required of us. And when we do this with honesty, with a sense of non-violence, with purity, then we are surely on the path of doing what we call austerity to Bhagavan. And why we do austerity to Bhagavan? To move up the spiritual ladder. Our whole goal in life, as we know, is to move up that spiritual ladder, so much so that we are able to feel salvation. But Bhagavan gives us one more solution that allows us to follow this path. Anudvigakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyabhyasanam chaiva mayam tapa uchyate. Speech that is non-offensive, truthful, pleasant, beneficial to all, and speech that is related to the study of the Vedas and scriptures is considered to be the austerities of speech, austerity of mood. Many a times we know that all our holy ones, all our saints and teachers will describe things like mauna, silence. When you practice silence, you are able to control your speech. You are able to control your speech. You are able to control what you say and what you don't say. In the world that we live in, it's very hard to control what we say and what we don't say. As we think it, we utter it. We don't give it a second thought. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, if you really want to move up that spiritual ladder, you have to regulate your speech. And regulate it how? He tells us to regulate it by being truthful, by being honest, by being non-offensive. How many of us can we truly say every time we speak, we are non-offensive to each other? How many times we can say that throughout the day have not uttered any bad words to anyone? We can perform all the meditation that we want, because as you know, meditation will be a fundamental solution that's propagated into the society. We can do all the meditation that we want, but if we don't practice control of speech, we will not be reaching anywhere. So Bhagavan gives us that counsel that if we wish to move up that spiritual ladder, we should mind our speech. But if you see something bad and someone asks you, did you see something? Did you see anything? Are you going to say that you said your sight was offensive in nature and you have to talk about it? Or are you going to keep silent? Knowing when to say what is very important. Knowing how to say it is also very important. But most importantly, knowing how to say it, when to say it, but saying it in a tone that is non-offensive or hurtful to others. Many of us, because we are bombarded by our everyday lives, we tend to say hurtful things to even our dear loved ones. We tend to say hurtful things to our colleagues at work. And no fault of ours, because we're having a hard day, we tend to do that. But if we really want to practice what Bhagavan is asking us to practice, it's no use practicing all the meditation and all the mauna, and then when you have to say something to someone, you're saying hurtful words to them. When you don't know how to say your words, craft your words in a certain way that they are not offensive. Holding back your speech is harder than speaking. Holding back what you have to say in front of someone is harder than speaking itself. But when you practice these things, you are able to gain the grace of God. Why are these things also important? Because Bhagavan recognizes your ability to regulate yourself. When you have control, when you have discipline, in your everyday dealings with others, then Bhagavan recognizes you as a person who is really trying to climb that spiritual ladder. There's no use we do all the pujas, find ourselves regularly in the temple, mind you. Krishna would say, yes, we find ourselves very regularly in the temple. I would agree with that too. And that is important, yes, because we get a chance to worship our Ektas, our Brahmanas, our Gurus. That's important. But if we go and try and do the simple things of regulating our speech in such a way that we are trying to be always truthful in whatever we say, trying to be always non-offensive, trying to be honest in all our dealings, we really not shouldn't be anywhere at all. And I think this is the kind of tapas and austerities that the mother of this home would have practiced. My interactions with her would have given me that sense that she would have been someone who would have practiced these things with me. And as we know, in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, charity is one of the fundamental things in our four pillars that stand below the charity. Mind you, when we go to temple and we perform our charity or charitable acts, that's fine and well and good. But it is very important to know what would be considered to be the best charitable act that we can do. Charity, when done as a matter of duty, when done in the right place in the right time, is considered to be the highest form of charity, a separate form of charity. And when we're able to do this, we are able to be the highest blessings. Now, mind you, we all find ourselves in precarious positions. We see the right place in the right time. But what will it help us? If it's not the right place in the right time, what help us to make it the right place in the right time? If you see someone on the side of the road who needs your assistance, that may not be the right place in the right time. It may not be the right place in the right time. Lending your assistance is important. Not everyone that you see that requires help that you should give help to them. The one is very clear about this. Not everyone that requires help requires your help, your form of charity, your form of assistance. Because you really truly can't help everyone, first and foremost. So what gives us, what's the guidelines that are given in Gita that allows us to make that event that you have placed in front of you by the law, make it right. The words given in chapter 17, Hari Om Tat Sat. When you recite these words similar in nature, Om Sri Krishna Aparam, when you give the name of Bhagavan on your lips, he makes the time right. He makes the event correct. He makes everything the way it should be. So if you yourself will be unsure at any point in time, am I doing it right? Is this the right place, the right time to do things at least? Rest assured, the one gives us that antidote. That when we utter his most holy name, we are able to lend our assistance and read blessings from him. Now, many times, we see even in temples, and everybody likes to do charity, and the people who do the most charity make sure and tell people like me to call it in first. Tell people in authority to make sure that my name is called first and foremost. Nobody else name is important except mine. Because I'm doing the best. I'm doing the most. Is that the right way or the wrong way? Is giving your assistance to less fortunate in an anonymous manner the more appropriate thing to do? But one counsels us in chapter 17. Makes it very, very clear to us that when we do things a certain way, charity that we perform moves from a selfish nature to a tamasic nature. If we do charity with some sense of purpose, but we do it unwillingly. We do it unwillingly, but we do it anyway. My mom and dad told me to do that, so I'm doing it. I'm doing it because the elders maybe know what they're doing, so we do it. And you do it with some sort of purpose that you are looking for a fruit, some sort of reward. And then that type of charity is considered to be rajasic by nature. Now, being rajasic is not a bad thing. Mata Saraswati herself is of the rajasic mood. Most of us think Mata Saraswati is sattvic by nature. But really, truly, because she is involved in creation with Brahmaji, she is in the rajasic mood. So being rajasic is good, but what makes it tamasic? Adesha Kali Yat Danam Apatrabhyas च दीयते असत्कृतम् अवज्ञातम् तत्तमसम् उदाहृतम्. So if we don't utter the name of God, we do charity at the wrong place at the wrong time to unworthy individuals. Those who do not respect what we do, and we ourselves not respecting who they are, that kind of charity is called tamasic by nature. It's a tamasic mode. Do we want to do charity in a tamasic mode, or do we want to do charity in a sattvic mode, or a rajasic mode? It is your choice. Some of us like to help. Some of us have great means of helping the persons. Some of us also like to give our time and our energy to the temple. Some of us like to give our time and our energy to our dear and near loved ones. Some of us think that we have the wherewithal to help everyone that we come across. But the highest form of giving, the highest form of charity would be the charity that we do when we pray for others. When we pray for others, when we pray for all, that's the highest spiritual way in which we can meet and greet everyone at the same time. The one is part and participle of every individual, as we know in Hinduism. The Atma is in everyone. The divine spark is in everyone. And for us to reach that spark requires assistance. All we can do as good devotees is to appeal to Bhagavan and say, "Oh Prabhu, please accept my humble prayer. Please, the ones who are sick and needy in the hospitals, please have them first for me. The ones who need assistance immediately, please have them first. The ones who require assistance from getting out of financial debts, please have them as well before me. Leave yourself for last. Leave yourself for last when you bring to Bhagavan. If you leave yourself for last, Bhagavan will recognize that you are more concerned about others than yourself. You will recognize that you are more concerned about others than yourself. And that fundamental fact of being concerned about others is totally against what we know to be present in Philly. Is anybody in this room will tell you, see about yourself first. Don't worry about anybody else now. See about yourself first. Don't worry if the guy down there, he fall down. He falls in the road, he fall down, and have a crush him. Don't worry about that. See about yourself first. You know a friend who has financial debts, and you can assist them and put them on the right path. No. The world of today doesn't tell you that. The world of today tells you, see about yourself first. Your family comes first and everybody else. Now, is that right or is that wrong? The one will be able to guide you in terms of what should I do and what should I not do. Is it right to help yourself first? How many of us think it is right to help ourselves? I would like to show of hands and do this. See, everybody. No. I see a very important element which stretches that out. I would call it this. It's important to help yourself first in the spiritual sense. You have to light that beer of wisdom and spiritual foundation within yourself first before you extend it to others. You can't have a deer without any light and say, well, Prabhu, I want to help the people. You can't bring enlightenment to others if you yourself are full of darkness and full of doubt and full of confusion. But mind you, if you are in doubt and full of confusion and you see someone in need, by doing that divine act of helping that person, your own doubts will be cleared. Are we going to take examples from our scriptures? Where we hear of the life of Sudama. We hear of the life of Sudama that while eating rice, he noticed the cow was starving. He took a bowl of rice, made it into the bowl, and fed the cow, and had a small amount for him to eat. A beggar was traveling on the road and begging for alms. He took his plate of food and gave it to the beggar. How many of us going to do that these days? How many of us going to have that sense of purpose and spiritual wisdom to know that when I sacrifice the most, Bhagavan sacrifices even more for me? How many of us live like this? Inculcate these values, embed these values into our beings. When I recollect the mother of this home, I fondly think that she would have embedded these values into her family. And it's evident by what we do on an everyday basis. Those are the kind of values that she would have engendered. These are the kind of things that if we want to remember her, we should practice. We want our family name to grow and be better than where she left it. Engender these values in ourselves. Engender truthfulness, kindness, compassion. Engender these things in our everyday living. Practice also our austerities, our japam, our tapam. Our tapas and our jap is very important, yes. But it's no use that you say the mala, doing the japam, and your mind is not present. It's no use you can do 108 japam in 2 minutes. Mind you. Yes, it could be done. You can do it very fast. I can do it extremely fast, like this. But that doesn't mean that I'm spiritual. Being able to do japam does not make you spiritual. What makes you spiritual is when you concentrate on every single letter of the word that you uttering and make it important. So important that you forget every single thing else. And in Sanatana Dharma, there are 3 ways of doing japam. You utter the mantras out loudly, so everyone can hear. You utter them softly, and the last will be when you utter them in your mind. The efficacy between uttering them loudly and uttering them in your mind is a factor of 100,000. 100,000. So if you do 100,000 malas out loud, Om Namah Shivaya, out loudly, and you say, but you take that same mantra and you utter it in your mind, clearing your mind of all the garbage that is there, and only thinking of Shiva at the time of uttering is equal to 100,000 recitations of the name of the Lord. Now, that is the kind of things that we should know as good news. These are the kind of things that knowledge that is being lost, especially in today's society, where everyone wants quick fixes. Imagine how they do 100,000 mana in 5 minutes. That's really good, right? If you can do 100,000 manas in 5 minutes, that's excellent. You get all your problems solved. You can do it only if you are able to clear your mind, clear your being from all the pollutants of the being. So I'm looking at my time. Is my time off or I still have more time? Maybe. So someone told me I have half hour. Great. So that being said, when we do all of these things, what is our objective? We have been faced with an event in this room. But what is most important would be the soul that is attached to the loved ones that are present. It is important for them to utter the name of the Lord. Not just to listen, but to utter the name of the Lord. So I'll take a moment to sing a particular bhajan that we all know so that we can grant us that opportunity. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Satsangh Maharaj ki jai. Throughout the nights, you would have noticed many lovely bhajans being sung. मुझे अपनी शरण नहीं मिल रहा. One of the fundamental bhajans being recited in this time. And it gives a sense that, oh Bhagavan Sri Ram, that I'm looking for you. Just as Tulsidas would have left his home just at the age of 60 to seek out Sri Ram, he would have been chanting these kinds of bhajans, seeking his Ram. 12 years seeking his Ram. How many of us will seek Sri Ram for 12 years and not give up? And mind you, we were learned Pundit who knew the Shastras and the Puranas and all the divine scriptures. He would have lived a noble life. But yet still, when the karmas became so profound in him and triggered that change from living a householder's life to seeking Sri Ram, how many of us will really go to seek out Sri Ram? How many of us will leave our homes at the age of 68 years to end up on the streets of New York City chanting Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Swami Prabhupada was 68 years of age when he left his home to go and form the international recognized Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. How many of us can do that? How many of us would have the energy to say, I will follow the instructions of my Guru at 68 years of age and try to follow his instructions so much so I will find myself in New York City on the pavement, nothing to eat, nothing to drink, but not feeling in my mission and chanting the name of God. And we all know Swami Prabhupada. He would have formed an internationally recognized organization. Bhagavan wants us to make sacrifices here. But in the age of Kali Yuga that we live in, many of us don't want to make any sacrifices. I had 3 calls today from different people. We want you to do everything for them, but they must stop, not stop what they do. 3 calls. Baba, I want you to do the sankalp, the puja, so you do the puja now, and I will continue doing what I do. So if we were continuing with taking a little alcohol, eating a little non-veg food and so on, they will continue doing that. And Baba, you will take the sankalp for that. That's the state that we have reached in the age of Kali. Remind you, this customary practice in India and Nigeria. So, quite commonplace. When you go to the temple, you ask the pujari, I want to puja today. Alright, what's the name of the puja? The name of the puja. Tomorrow when you pass it now, this evening you pass it, not to pass it person. And that is the evolution of where we have reached in the age of Kali. No more sacrifices are required. People like me have to do it for you. Yes, I'm the only person, or the only persons who want to live the correct way, do all the sacrifices, and you should come to me and get everything that you need. I'm posing this because we are reaching a stage in the age of Kali that is where we're going to go. And we've been lost touch now with the noble values that the mother of this home inculcated with us. She would have made many sacrifices tremendous sacrifices to ensure that her family is on the right footing. She would have found herself in places where she didn't have to, finding herself in Diwali Nagar, where she could have been resting home comfortably. But she found herself there, making sure that what she believed in was practiced, was engendered, and was propagated. How many of us can live a life like that? How many of us can really see that I am truly understanding what I have to do, and I'm going to do it, and I have done it, and I will continue to do it, no matter what, no matter my age, no matter my sickness, no matter what trials and tribulations are in front of me, I will not fail in engendering the proper values in my family, and so much to give to everyone in front of them a leading example for us to follow. Many of us want to follow, but not many of us want to set examples. Everybody likes to follow. See, I would like to follow this leader. I would like to follow this person. I would like to follow that Swami. But how many of us really want to stop being followers and start being leaders in our own lives? Engendering and cultivating the values and principles that we know our ancestors will have held dear, near and dear to us, so much so that we will have sacrificed a lot to ensure that we get a better life, but also for us to practice the values that we also need to go to us. Many a times we go about living and say, well, I don't have time to listen. A young man, before I took the students, a young man asked me a particular question. He said, Baba, what's the correct direction to face your house? Is the correct direction to face your house when you're building your house? What's the correct direction? Your front door of your house, what direction is supposed to face? Anybody can hazard a guess? Anybody wants to hazard a guess? Okay, I'll let you. The front door of your house has to be facing the easterly direction or the northeasterly direction. Those are the two favorable directions. So that when you exit in your house every day, Surya Bhagwan is rising and you are able to see him as soon as you exit. And so you're able to perform pranam to him before you go out to do everything in the world. Such a wonderful thing to have. That every single day you are able to open your door. And without doing anything much, make your pranam to Surya Bhagwan. So he will give you the positive energies to engender your day, to make your day bright and enlightened. So many of us may not have known this. So what is the quick fix? What is the quick fix that we could use to solve that problem? Create an opening so that anytime you exit and enter your home, you're entering and exiting the northeasterly direction or the easterly direction. So yes, you can have your front door for everybody to see, yes, that's a nice big front door you have. But make sure you have a small, nice door that you can enter and exit, and you can have the darshan of a suitable God every single day. Those are the kinds of simple things that we're losing touch with. Those are things that will allow us to carry ourselves forth into the future, so that we will be able to do better in those, able to make the right decisions at the right time, and know that just as you have guarded the exceeding, to remember that divine soul, you will also make the right decisions in all aspects of it. So Tulsidas would have gone about to Mujhe Parisha seeking Sri Ram, but how did his life end? What was the ultimate goal? I mean, in fact, we should envisage that goal and he achieved that goal. What was his final goal? Siya Ram me sabad karo pranam jodi jugapan. Where I see Sri Ram and Sita in every particle of his shoes. When you are able to see this, Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, when you can see Bhagavan in the dog Peter, and the Brahmana, and the cow, then for sure you are on the spiritual path. When you have dog eaters these right? You have dogs, you have dog eaters, you have the cows, and the Brahmanas. And all of them in heaven. And if you can see Bhagavan, each and every one of them, knowing that they have a particular purpose in this world, and don't disregard them anymore. Don't put them down anymore. Because your friend is a non-vegetarian, is their bad people. I have many friends who are non-vegetarian. Are they bad people? No. They're very good people in fact. Some of them, I think they are even better than me. But what makes them better is that they are given a chance like everybody else. Once you take the, you have the same chance as I do to seek path of salvation for yourself. No matter what kind of lifestyle that you adopt, Bhagavan gives you a clean slate every time you take food, that you have a fresh start to do what your karmas dictate. How's my time? 15 minutes? So I'd like to summarize now. 10 minutes? I'd like to summarize now what all things that we have spoken about this evening. Austerities of words, austerities of deeds, charitable acts, be realistic, tamasic, or separate. Sacrifices that would engender or ability to make noble sacrifices or no sacrifices at all, and the consequences of such. But most importantly, to take the mother of this room as a prime example of how we should do. What things we should do and what things we should not do. Mind you, everyone has shortcomings, but we should always try to seek the good in everyone. Fault finding is a very prevalent thing in the age of community. Fault finding. It's very easy to find fault with someone. In fact, people in this world, I think that half of their job is to find faults. When we find faults in them, we are able to pull them down, and we can push up ourselves and get all the solutions. That's what we do. And in fact, when we don't do that, people look upon you as if, what do you do? You don't know what to do, and I think you are mistaken. If we don't engender the values and principles of materialistic people in this world, we are considered to be misfits in society. We go to temple too much, and they know what that is. If they see you by the bar, it's okay. It's all right. Anytime you go to the temple too much, something wrong with you. Anytime you're too charitable, something wrong with you. Anytime you see the elders and you have to go by their homes so that you able to every day give them a cup of tea, something wrong with you, boy. What are you doing that for? You giving anything? You giving house? I understand. I know you're going to be aware about it. You give him the house so that's why he can show find himself and people's house. Many of us think like that. Many of us think like that. And cast aspersions upon people on that same. Everybody has an agenda, a negative agenda. Nobody believes that I help people because I like to help people. Everybody believes in that, in the rule that I live in a working, I'm considered to be a smart man. Why? Because I'm helping people. Your agenda is supremely perfect. If you have it all, what you do? They can't believe that you're helping people because they just like to help people. You just like to help people, and that makes you feel good and good inside, so you help people more. So when people ask me, what bad habit I have? So what bad habit I'm trying to get rid of it. Right? I have a bad habit of helping people. I know it's a bad habit, but I'm try to get rid of it. So that's my bad. I said, try to help too much people. I find myself in trouble. How many of us can say that for ourselves? So I will believe on that note, ensure that I hope you understand our messages today. If you understand that Bhagwan could have given this message because he wants us to lead by example and not by followers. Become leaders rather than followers. Become spiritual leaders of your own destiny rather than trying to follow someone else's. So I'm close. I invite you once again. Clasp your hands, close your eyes. Maybe remember God and remember the Son. Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardanam yat pujitam maya deva paripurnam tanastu me avaham न जानami visarjidam pujam chaiva न जानami क्षमस्व परमेश्वर ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय अनादिर्नो देव शङ्खचक्र गदाधर अक्षय पुण्डरीकाक्ष प्रीतमोक्ष प्रदो भव कृष्ण कृष्ण कृपालु त्वमगतिनां गतिर्भव संसार आर्णवमग्नानं प्रसीद पुरुषोत्तम ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्री विष्णवे नमः ॐ श्री विष्णवे नमः ॐ श्री विष्णवे नमः